Hey, family. So today I am early because I was shooting content and I started sipping on it's about to be my favorite new glass for the whole holiday season. Did I really take this people's glass? Well, I've been sipping on some doctored adult eggnog. And so I realized, oh, I have to start early before I get tipsy. So that's why we're starting early. Because if I didn't start early, I would be on the nap, I'd be on the couch taking a nap, and then there'd be no live, right? Forget 2 lives, there would be no live. So hi guys, welcome to Bluecentric Live. I'm your host, Blue Tulusma. I'm a writer, a spiritualist, an emotional intelligence coach, and just all around real ass bitch or whatever. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody's here. I'm learning how to start properly now. Please like the live so that it can push it out into the algorithm to more people. Also consider becoming a member because we are having a membership drive where I'm trying to get 1,000 members by Christmas. I think the last time I checked, we were up to 818. So I'm about 122 or something away from, no, 182, child. Look at me. I'm 180 something away from my goal. And I'm crazy enough to think that we can actually make it happen. And guys, I am in a really great mood because I had so much fun today. And I think that's interesting that I'm in such a good mood because today's topic is probably going to be one of the most serious ones, one of the more serious ones that I've had. And y'all know I can make anything serious, right? It can be the stupidest pop culture conversation. And as an emotional intelligence coach, I can find the depth and the substance in it. But for this one, I don't need to find depth and substance. So first of all, I'm going to put the comments on the screen because of Mercury retrograde. I am so sad, guys. Our last live, none of the chat auto-populated. I was in the middle of rewatching it because you guys know I always rewatch the lives to see what I missed in the chat. And about an hour into it, YouTube completely froze. And when I refreshed my screen, it said live chat is not available. Don't know what that's about. More Mercury retrograde shenanigans. Speaking of Mercury retrograde, guys, tomorrow is Tarot Tuesday. Is it just me? Or did that happen so quickly? I feel like Tarot Tuesday this time. Usually Tarot Tuesday, I'm working up to it, but this time I felt like we just had Tarot Tuesday 5 minutes ago. It's a little bizarre. All right. So to be responsible socially, because I feel like I'm in a good mood and I'm a little tipsy, which is a little counterintuitive to the topic of today. Before we get started, I'm going to say this. We are going to be talking about, and I have to choose my words carefully because YouTube likes to ban certain words. We're going to be talking about disordered eating. Okay. And because we're talking about distorted eating, we are going to need to have a trigger warning. If there's anybody in here who has struggled with body image and the way that they eat and how they feel about their bodies, and it's something that's a little bit raw for you right now, especially during the holidays where everything is extra raw, I'm going to tell you maybe you want to sit this one out. Right. So this is a proper trigger warning. I've never done a trigger warning before, but it feels like because I'm not a fan of tearing down women because of their bodies, I'll call a bitch ugly in a heartbeat. I'm not even gonna hold you. But bodies is something different, right? Like I very much understand that not everybody is as healed as I am around their body image. Y'all be like, what do you mean you healed? Oh, for those who are wondering what I mean about being healed, I'm about to do a members only live right after this one, where I'm gonna play a video that has been removed from my YouTube page for years. And before I removed it, it was one of the most popular YouTube videos that I ever had out. And I still took it down because we'll get into that during the live. So I'm going to be talking about my body positivity, body neutrality journey in our members only live today. It's going to be around 8:15 Pacific, which is I think 11:15 Eastern, where I'm going to talk about how did I learn to not just cosplay as someone who likes their body. Because respectfully, a lot of y'all hate yourselves and you hate your bodies, right? And then you come online and pretend you love yourself, and then I can tell that you're lying. Yeah. And so I want to talk about how I sincerely learned to love my body in real life, not just for the internet and for the optics of others. And for those, shout out to those of you who are coming over from Carlos King. Yes, I was on live with Dustin and Carlos. Carlos now has me on the main page. It was my first time doing it. It was so much fun, but we were drinking. So I got a little tipsy. As for all those who've been asking for my more in-depth Real Housewives of Potomac, shout out to, I love it when I say number show up for New Housewives of Potomac. I'm intentionally thinking about perhaps waiting until this Sunday's Potomac to do a recap of episode 9 and 10, because episode 9 left us on a cliffhanger. And I still have some thoughts and suspicions that I want to watch one more episode before I make any strong statements. One of the things I love about Carlos, because I recognize that he and I are in the same boat, some of us in this industry don't have the luxury of talking about people and having them not see what we're going to say. When I talk about people, more often than not, they hear it, right? When I talk about people, it doesn't matter how big you think the celebrity is. More often than not, it gets back to them and I get a DM or a phone call or a mutual friend's like, so-and-so saw it. I'm like, yeah, I know they saw it. So me and Carlos, one of the things that made us bond is neither one of us has the luxury of talking out of our asses in a way that we can't back up in the actual room, because we both have the ability to potentially run into the people that we're talking about in real life. Right? Shout out to the Blue Crew. I love you guys in here. I've been missing y'all sometimes. It's so interesting. But because of that, I recognize people who know that whatever they're saying is going to probably be heard and or seen by the person they're talking about. We do walk through the world differently because we have to make sure that we can be 10 toes down in real life. We can't hide behind this internet shit, right? I can't hide behind the internet. Now, why am I mentioning this aside from the fact that I love that me and Carlos have this in common? Today I'm going to be talking about, for those who didn't read the description, today's topic is about Ariana Grande has finally addressed all the discourse and concerns around her and the cast of Wicked and their allegedly jarring weight loss. And, whenever you talk about Wicked and Ariana Grande, then Cynthia Erivo is immediately implied in that. Cynthia Erivo and I know each other. Yes. And I'm choosing my words carefully because I'm just choosing my words carefully out of respect. During the pandemic, we all had friends that were our pandemic buddies. Am I the only one in here? Did you guys have a certain group of people that because of life and circumstance and timing, they ended up being your support system during the pandemic? And that you might still be cool with them now, but it was something very specific to the pandemic. Like Bridget and Cheech ended up being pandemic buddies and they got married, right? Some people had pandemic buddies who they got divorced. Some people found their best friends or their coworkers or whatever, right? Yes, you're all saying yes in here. So this is going to sound like a name drop, but I promise it's not. It's me just being honest about why I'm being so careful with my language from respect. Me and Cynthia had a pandemic bestie in common. Okay, that's the right way to put it. And me and my pandemic bestie were talking for like hours and hours every day because it was a fucking pandemic and we couldn't go nowhere. And they were talking to Cynthia hours and hours every day. And so me and Cynthia would be on FaceTimes and talking to each other, kikiing, because we had a close mutual. To the point where the pandemic kicked off. The World Health Organization announced on March 11, 2020. Yes, my autism has made me remember the exact date. On March 11, 2020, the World Health Organization announced that we were in the midst of a global pandemic and confirmed it. My birthday was like a month later. So I had to celebrate my birthday alone in a 500 square foot studio apartment in downtown LA by myself, my first year in Los Angeles because of the pandemic. And I was so devastated. And Cynthia and our friend called me at 7:00 in the morning, and Cynthia Erivo sang me happy birthday on my birthday, right? And if you ever heard her voice, yes, I was in tears. I was in shambles, right? And no, you guys, I'm a Taurus. A month after the pandemic is April. And so I'll never forget that moment because it was like in the midst of all of this, I have a almost EGOT singing me happy birthday on the phone. She has the voice of an angel. I'm on the verge of tears. It was a whole thing, right? And so I'm not saying that me and Cynthia are friends, but we are friendly and we do know of each other. And I've always been very protective of my friendship with certain people who are also very close to her. There are certain celebrities that I don't talk about that much, and when I do, it's a light touch and it's out of deep reverence because I do believe in keeping my friends safe, and even keeping my acquaintances safe. If you and I were cool and we're no longer cool, but I deeply respect you, I'm still going to protect you to a certain degree. Somebody said her voice is absolutely beautiful. I've told Cynthia this, like no shade, no tea. Even when y'all were having complicated feelings about her. I said, Cynthia, regardless of how people think about you, the one thing that nobody in this world will ever be able to take from you is thy voice. Your talent is undeniable and cannot be debated. Yeah. And she's a Capricorn, and Earth girls understand each other. So I'm saying that to say that I'm not going to be sensational and flippant about Cynthia and Ariana, because I think a lot of people, when they have this conversation, can be flippant in a way that I don't have the luxury. All parties know me, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Also, I'm going to share this more during the members only live. I had an ED myself growing up. A really, really bad ED that was steeped in some stuff that happened. And I debated if I wanted to have this conversation. Number one, I know I couldn't have this conversation in Gen Pop. That's why it is in the members only. And I was like, Blue, do you really want to have this conversation right now? Because there's a list of things that I want. Like, oh, there's some things that I want to talk about when I get to 1,000 members, and it could be a way of celebrating that we're now at a sexier tier of engagement. But honestly, with all the discourse around the cast of Wicked, it kind of felt like now's the time, right? I was not expecting to have this conversation with you guys until next year, but I do think that being a plus size Black woman who sincerely likes herself, because again, everybody says they like themselves, and then you get on the phone with them like, but you don't like yourself, right? So being someone who likes myself to the point that when the Shelly and Ace fans were trolling me and calling me big back, I laughed. Guys, I'm at the point where the word fat means nothing to me. I don't feel stupid. I don't feel ugly. Half my friends are like supermodels, I don't give a fuck. I'm not comparing myself to them. If I meet a new boy and it's time to have sexy time, I'm taking it all off. We can fuck with the lights on, right? And I do understand, for those who want some context, I am 5'9", a size 18 with G-cup breasts. There's a lot of me, right? It's hard to miss me. And so as a bodied woman, yeah, who's not racially ambiguous, because there is a certain thing around, you can be fatter when you're racially ambiguous. That's why if you are built like a fridge, but you're white, a Black man might still love on you and rub your booty and call you his baby. Yeah. So I can't even be a big white bitch. I can't be a big yellow bitch. For me to be a big brown girl and to be this like secure, and to have hundreds of trolls call me big back and sincerely not give a fuck. When I tell you, not a single fuck. That is something that I think there is value in having this conversation with you guys, because I recognize I'm one of the ones who's not lying and figured it out for herself in a way that wasn't fraudulent. And I almost feel like with the holidays coming and everybody gearing up to eat a lot just so that they can diet in January, this feels like the time to have the disordered eating conversation. So members, I love you. And so I'm going to tell you, if you're open to have a cathartic conversation around body image, and for me to share that story time that I took down about how I got here, and to have me, because that story time is 5 years ago. 5 years ago, my aunt had just died. I had just moved to LA, and I had blown up to 300 pounds. I've never been that big in my fucking life, right? It was the fattest I had ever been. And yet I still loved myself. I've since lost a significant amount of weight, but because, I'm evenly, whatever, my face is still chubby, child. But I've lost a significant amount of weight. And I remember at the time being like, oh, we have to lose weight because of health. Fuck like how you look. This has to be because of health, right? Hey, my love, how are you guys? And so being able to watch this video from 5 years ago at my absolute lowest, but still really liking myself, and I haven't watched it since, I think it's going to be kind of interesting for all of us to watch it together. Yeah. All right. So that's the intro to know that we're going to be talking about disordered eating today. If you're going to be triggered, feel free to let this play in the other room, because I still would like, the viewing points. Let it play in the other room and go do something else and watch it for real another time. And if you are going to join the members only area for later for the after show, just know that I'm going to go there. I'm going to have a really candid conversation with you, because I honestly think that we're in a time where heroin chic is back in. And it's not surprising, because there's a study of history will tell you, because, I'm an anthropologist in my head, child. I think I'm Zora Neale fucking Hurston. I'll be up here studying mankind. It's my special interest. For those who are new here, I'm autistic, and most autistic people have a special interest. My special interest is people and psychology and the human condition, right? And I already knew the minute the Kardashians got the country club BBLs and conservatism and trad wives started trending on TikTok, and that man ran for president again, and y'all actually let him win, I immediately knew that we were going back to the super, super skinny era of the 90s. Immediately, because history tells you that. Conservatism and hyper thinness are always interlocked. So basically, if you a big bitch, your time was during a Democratic president or an independent president, which has yet to happen. But the minute we're in a super conservative era, everybody has to get skinny. They just have to, right? So for this live, for the public live, we are going to be talking about Ariana. And I have complicated feelings about Ariana Grande because, number one, I was a huge Mac Miller fan. My favorite Mac Miller album was The Divine Feminine. Actually, it's the album that made me a huge Mac Miller fan. It's the only one that I know, right? But The Divine Feminine was an amazing album that Mac Miller wrote about his love for Ariana Grande. And after they broke up, he spiraled and he passed away. And he ended up passing away a week before my aunt died. So as a Mac Miller fan who loved that album, and then he passed on live. He was on a live when he passed away in the studio. And the devastation of that. And then a week later for me to lose the woman who raised me. It was a bad time. I'm also a big Victoria Monet fan. I didn't blame Ariana, but it was complicated. And I'm also a big Victoria Monet fan because Victoria Monet wrote for Ariana for a very long time. And if you listen to them talk, Ariana when she was doing her black scent, was basically, maybe perhaps unintentionally, mimicking Victoria Monet. It's just now that the girls are pulling up receipts and being like, wait, why does Ariana, because Seven Rings was during her Victoria Monet cosplay era. So the Ariana that you love, a lot of you are like, oh, Seven Rings is my favorite Ariana song. That's because she's cosplaying as a black woman. And back then, she had a thick black scent. You know, I have a trick feelings about white people with black scents, right? And so when Victoria Monet finally came from behind her shadow and had her own moment, I said, okay, so the girl that Ariana's been pretending to be finally gets her moment. Oh, my mama, look at God, right? So it's one of those things where I sincerely believe that Ariana is a real ally, because you can be imperfect and be a real ally. I sincerely believe that she sincerely loves Black people and Black culture. And I also believe that her getting dragged by her edges and her ponytail is why she's reeled it back in and has gone back to being a white woman. I appreciate the course correction, okay? I appreciate that Ariana was being told to cosplay as Victoria Monet, got her a little bag, read the internet, realized that was a little bit of microaggression, and by micro I mean a macroaggression, and actually course corrected. I don't believe in being punitive for the sake of being punitive, because I'm not insecure enough for that to make me feel good about myself, right? People who are insecure need to rob somebody else of their power. I have my own power, which means if a bitch fixes it, I'm good. Again, guys, if you're new here, I'm an EQ coach. So we talk about pop culture and politics sometimes, but the intention is to always educate you about emotional intelligence, okay? All right, so let's watch about what happened recently in the last 24 hours, because after 2 years of being dragged and speculated on and talked about, Ariana has finally come out to directly, not indirectly, but directly address the wicked concerns. And as somebody, okay, this is going to sound bad. Y'all, why does my lore always make me sound like I might have been a mob pin? I may or may not have acquired an eating, I can't say the word because YouTube will get mad at me. I may have acquired ED, right? ED is what we call it online. I may have acquired ED as a young person and then became the Regina George of a ED clique during high school, where I would slap Cheez-Its out of people's hands. Shout out to therapy. Okay. I was just hungry and mean, y'all. I was mean because I was hungry. When you're eating 200 calories a day, it's hard to be nice. Okay. I remember one time I bent down to tie my shoe during the prime of my condition. And somebody says, you look like a greyhound dog when you bend down. Your neck is so long and your clavicle is so sharp. You look like a greyhound dog. And I remember being so excited. Because you guys don't understand. I grew up in the 90s. They put me on a diet and called me obese when I was 5'9" and 150 pounds. They called me obese at 5'9" and 150 pounds. I dieted my way into being a big girl, because they don't tell you that when you have an ED, it fucks up your metabolism. And then when you hit 35, hormones and perimenopause come in to beat your ass. And then all the shit that you did when you were 17 and 14 and 15, and all those 200-calorie weeks like catch up to you. Yeah? So I may or may not have started a gang of girls who didn't eat. Damn, I started a gang in high school and a cult in my 20s. Yeah, man, shout out to, like, again, okay? A bitch has healed. Wait, not y'all saying Blue, wait. This is why we have a members only area. Because I be wanting to share, and then I get a call from my friends like, Blue, why did you say that? Because it happened. No, it wasn't a call. It was a gang. There's a difference. It was a gang. Hello. Anyways, again, members only area. So let's, no more of my personal narrative, because those who don't know me are going to clip this up like, you know, this bitch, somebody said charisma. I might have had more charisma than integrity in my teen years. Yeah. I might have, which honestly now, it's why I'm so heavy on the integrity right now. Shout out to growth. Yes. The reason why I do things like I refuse to let my clients let me make decisions for them. Nope. I'm not your cult leader. I'm not your gang leader. Figure it out. I'll help you figure it out for yourself. The reason why I'm so big about not taking away people's free agency is because I know how easy it would be for me to do it. And I'm never going back to that. Not gang. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all, this is supposed to be a serious live. I don't even know I did a trigger warning. We can't take shit serious here. All right, guys, let's watch the live before we scare off the new folks. Let's watch the live. Yes, welcome to new members, Thug Life. The fact that the police were called on me so much during my high school and early 20s, and the police would never arrest me because they didn't want to put me in the car because I was cussing them out. You know what it feels like to have the cops call on you and you cuss out the cops so bad that, like, we do not want her in the car. So just send her home. I couldn't even get arrested. I talked so much shit, I couldn't even get arrested. Anyways, all right, so let's start with the show, guys. Not America's Most Wanted. Don't do that. Although Tupac was my favorite rapper growing up. So that makes sense. Yeah, listening to Machiavelli in private school probably did something to me. Huh. I'm connecting the dots. All right, guys, let's watch what's happening with Ariana.
Is addressing all of the things that people have been saying about the cast of Wicked and what has happened to them. With what should be an exciting time for the Wicked cast has turned into a whole body shaming drama, and honestly, this isn't even the first time this has happened.
Hey, not too much on Pac. Okay, not too much on Pac. That was my nigga.
Happened to someone like Ariana Grande. If you remember, the exact same conversation happened back in 2023 when people were flooding her.
Now, guys, what's tricky is I'm always telling you guys to humanize celebrities for the good and the bad, right? Humanize celebrities in that you show them grace and basic human fucking compassion because they're human, but also humanize celebrities in the fact that you hold them accountable and stop deifying them, right? It's a double-edged sword when I say humanize celebrities. And so I want us to humanize her, and also, we can all admit, yes, Tupac is a Gemini. How are y'all just finding this out? So is Kendrick Lamar. And I'm a Gemini. I'm a double Gemini. Triple Virgo. Again, we'll talk about the astrology stuff more next week. Tomorrow for Tarot Tuesday. But can we all admit that, objectively speaking, this image is just visually concerning at first? Yeah? Oh, I can tell this is going to be a tough topic for me to talk about. This image is visually concerning. And also, though, it's the kind of thing you see and you're concerned, and you're also watching your mouth because you don't want to say anything triggering, if you're a decent person.
Comment sections and trending her name over her appearance. At the time, she addressed this whole thing and posted a video letting people know that the old version of herself that everyone is comparing her to was actually the unhealthiest time in her life.
The premise that her being at a seemingly regular, shout out to everybody who's catching their first live, but the thought that Ariana Grande being at a normal thin person's weight and size was what she identifies as her unhealthiest time. All right, let me let this play.
And she opened up about what she was going through back then and how it's not very nice for people to unknowingly think that they know she was healthier back then when it's just not true.
Hi everyone. I have made my coffee. I'm on my way to work soon. I just wanted to come on, and I don't do this often. I don't like it. I'm not good at it.
She really doesn't, by the way. She's very cautious around conversation around body, and she always has been. And growing up in the Disney spotlight, I think we could all guess why.
I don't like I'm not good at it and I don't like it, but I just wanted to address your concerns about my body and talk a little bit about what it means to be a person with a body. I know personally for me.
No, this clip is not old, guys. This clip just happened. The clip is not old. She just posted this.
The body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body. I was on a lot of antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly, and at the lowest point of my life when I looked the way you can.
Yes, guys, okay, you guys, it's a repost, but I'm saying that this conversation about her addressing it, she's been reposting. Let me be very specific before you guys waste the entire time talking about reposts. We address this. She's reposting different videos as a response to her trending all over TikTok. I apologize for just speaking generally because I know you guys can be incredibly nitpicky and it's incredibly distracting when the entire chat is you guys repeatedly telling me the same thing over and over again as if you didn't think I saw it. So I'm going to pause so you can get it out your system. There are going to be several reposts that are specifically a response to the chatter. Are we all on the same page? As somebody with ADHD and autism, it's incredibly distracting to be told the same thing 17 times. We good? We all on the same page? Okay. Yes. Thank you for repeating it for the 18th time. Are we all on the same page? We good? Okay. Let's go. Because you guys don't understand. There is this knee-jerk. We talked about this last week. There's this knee-jerk reaction on social media to scream things like just scream things. But it's a repost. It's a repost. And you guys don't realize that I'm still like a real person. And so I'm watching to be responsive, but having people yell the same thing over and over at you, nobody finds that enjoyable, right? What did we say earlier about humanizing people? So now that you all know, I've heard you. And there will be other reposts, guys, because she's been reposting on a rampage for the past 24 hours because she wants to remind you of her stance. Got it? Okay, let's continue.
Consider my healthy, but that in fact wasn't my healthy. And I know I shouldn't have to explain that, but I do feel like maybe having an openness and some sort of vulnerability here will be something good might come from it. The second thing is you never know what someone is going through. So even if you are coming from a loving place and a caring place, that person probably is working on it or has a support system that they are working.
Shout out to the 40%. You're the reason why I'm being more strict about this. So I'm happy that you guys recognize why I'm doing it because I never did it before and it's getting really bad. So thank you to the 40%. For those who don't know, 60% of people who come in here already know everything about the topic I'm uncovering, and 40% are hearing it for the first time from me. And what tends to happen is the 60% will scream what's happening and spoilers and want to show off how much they know, and the 40% can't enjoy the moment. And so I'm trying to get better about you guys not pontificating in the chat about how much you know and just letting people enjoy the live.
On it with, and you never know. So be gentle with each other. I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what. If you think,
I do agree that we need to be more gentle. I do agree we need to be more gentle, right? Because even when I talk about people I don't like on here, you might notice I make it a point to say what I do like about them and say what is fairly positive about them as a counterbalance, because I don't ever want to flatten somebody with critique. I think sometimes when we critique people, we flatten people. Even with the Chalet's fans who have decided that I am their new enemy just because I keep on going viral for making sense from a video I made weeks ago. I said a bunch of nice things about her. And they're saying, well, you're only saying nice things about her because you're trying to be shady. No, I'm trying to be fair. Right? I'm trying to be fair. And so I want us to admit that even if we think Ariana is thin in a way that is concerning, objectively concerning, that we also recognize that her response could still be valid even if she does have an ED. Right? Even if she does have an ED, we do need to be more gentler about how we talk about people's bodies. Specifically, especially during the holiday season, because not to make this too serious too early, this is the time of the highest rates of people unaliving themselves. So imagine if you have 2 movies that are coming out 2 back-to-back holiday seasons, and now you're being expected to spend every Christmas having people drag your body. Not hundreds, tens of millions of people dragging your body every Christmas for 2 years. And to the point of the 60%, I think it's really, really important for us to discuss exactly which videos Ariana is reposting, because she's trying to create a storyboard of highlighting what she might have said previously that we weren't listening to, right? Because just because she said it before doesn't mean we've heard her before. To have the entire globe, because Wicked is an international franchise, to have the entire globe come together every Christmas to talk about your body not being tea. Baby, even the healthiest bitch, even I might shed a tear. And I don't do that often, right? And so I think the whole be gentle point is kind of something I want to highlight right now.
You're saying something good or well-intentioned, whatever it is. Healthy, unhealthy, big, small, this, that, sexy, not sexy. We should really work towards not doing that as much.
The sexy or not sexy, and this might be me am I using my personal knowledge for this? Maybe. The sexy or not sexy conversation immediately made me think about Cynthia. Because one of the things that I've perceived, and I'm not going to speak for Cynthia because I don't want to, but one of the things that I've perceived is that Ariana is thin and seen as a damsel. When Cynthia gets thin, she's seen as a man and an aggressor. And the way that being a Black woman is immediately seen as a masculine thing in general, I've always said this: Blackness is considered masculine, whiteness is considered soft and polished and often feminine. And so when a white woman does something, she's a damsel. When a Black woman does it, she's a nigga. We're going to discuss this further in the live. So the same people who think that Ariana is this thin ballerina who must be saved also thinks that Cynthia Erivo looks like a man. Same body. Yeah? So when she says sexy or unsexy, I can't help but feel like it's almost like her speaking in allyship, maybe perhaps even unintentionally, about what I perceive Cynthia's probably had to read and deal with and vented to her about.
There are ways to compliment someone or to ignore something that you see that you don't like.
She also said on screen in small text, "You have talked a lot about it over the past decade or longer, so I'd like to join in this time." And
that's the response, guys. She's like, hey, you guys keep talking about it. I'm doing these reposts as throwing my hat into the conversation that's been had for all these years about me, right? I'm reposting this so y'all understand this is how I still feel about this, because maybe y'all didn't fucking hear me the first time. Look, I gotta respect it. Whether I think she has ED or not, I gotta respect that she's like, I'm still a person, yeah? Like, I'm still like a whole ass human being.
And back in 2015, Ariana dealt with the same thing as she commented on the fact that she doesn't like people judging looks.
No, Cynthia's skinny. As somebody who's been in the same room with her, Cynthia's very thin. I'm not yucking your yum or trying to join the bandwagon against her, but Cynthia is teeny tiny.
And it was in reference to Ariana being compared to Ariel Winter, and Ariana had this to say about it. She posted on Instagram saying, "Sigh, tweets, comments, statements like this are not okay about anyone. We live in a day and age where people make it impossible for women, men, and anyone to embrace themselves exactly how they are. Diversity is sexy, loving yourself is sexy, and you know what is not sexy? Misogyny, objectifying, labeling, comparing, and body shaming. Talking about people's bodies as if they're on display, asking for your approval/opinion. They are not. Celebrate yourself."
You guys, for one last time, there will be reposts, and there will be new rhetoric, and there will be new captions in the repost. Please do not get stuck on what part of the video is a repost, what part of the caption is new. Are y'all okay? I feel like I'm watching a bunch of autistic people hyper focus on the wrong thing and at the point ahead. Do y'all need a second? Like, what's going on? Are y'all triggered and this is just how you focus? I don't want this to be 2 hours of talking about, well, this section is a repost and this section is new. Like, stop, please, respectfully. It's fucking with me. Thank you. And here's the thing. I do know a lot of you are neurodivergent, so this is not me being facetious. I do think some of you are stimming right now. Let's continue.
Celebrate others. The things that make us different from one another make us beautiful. Body boundaries. Love, love, love only. And right now, with the Wicked press tour in full swing, people have been doing the opposite of what Ariana has asked of them, and they've been commenting heavily on not only Ariana Grande, but also Cynthia Erivo and Michelle Yeoh. Tons of people have been.
I was surprised by the Michelle Yeoh, but I did look up some pictures, and there are a lot of pictures of Michelle Yeoh, and even the men. I think this might be bigger than Ariana, or even Ariana and Cynthia. Sometimes you can work someplace where there's an unintentional culture that happens underneath your nose, and only people who are not in the culture can clock it. I do fear, and this is something I'm going to pan out a little bit outside of just disordered eating, for those of you who have no history of disordered eating. When my friends get married, the one thing my female friends, particularly those who have ADHD, because I feel like a lot of my female friends have ADHD, right? It's one of the things we bond over. One of the things they always confess to me after their wedding is that they disassociate. A lot of people, particularly the newer spicy girlies, are so overwhelmed by the magnitude of goodness. It's good. They're happy to be getting married. These are not women who hate their husbands. There's just so much good coming at them that they become overwhelmed and they freak out and they shut down. I'm saying that to say, nobody ever talks about how your dreams coming true can actually be triggering and uncomfortable. Your dreams coming true can actually be triggering and uncomfortable. You can actually have too much goodness coming at you at once and you become completely deregulated. Now, why am I saying this? Ariana and Cynthia and most of the cast are all theater kids whose biggest dream was doing this movie. Their biggest dream was Wicked. To have a dozen or more people whose biggest dream is all coming true simultaneously sounds like a fucking nightmare to me, as somebody who's an emotional intelligence coach. We would all just be crying. Like, I feel like I would just be so stressed. I would want it to be over. Can we all admit that happens? Can we all admit that too much goodness happening at once can make just one person shut down? What happens when it's damn near half the room? And so, let me be honest. Am I exhausted and completely worn thin by the press tour? Absolutely. I literally am thanking God there's not a third Wicked movie. I cannot do another year of this. Whatever this is, it's wearing me the fuck out. If they were to do a third movie called fucking Wicked Hard, the Boston edition, shout out to the Bostonians who get that joke, I would have to put a mute on my, I would have to just delete those keywords from all my social media accounts. Okay? Please, I don't want no black folks. You know how they had The Wiz as a black remake of the Wizard of Oz? Please, I don't want none of you niggas to do, or none of you Bostonians to do Wicked Hard, the black remake. No, please don't. I can't take it. No more Wicked. Personally, mind you, I'm about to go see the movie probably like this weekend, right? Because I still want to support. But enough. Anybody who is healed is tired. Anybody who's unhealed is triggered and tired. What do we have in common? Tired. So, I think something's happening systemically on set. Remember how I used the term trauma bonding a couple of days ago during my live, and I said, you guys don't understand what trauma bonding is. Trauma bonding doesn't mean you ran into a girl in the bathroom and you're both bonding about how you both have ancient boyfriends. That's bonding over trauma. Trauma bonding can only happen when you're bonding with someone who has traumatized you, and so you and your abuser are bonding, right? Or you're bonding with someone who's actually experienced trauma with you. So properly using the language, as opposed to the TikTok version when y'all make shit up because it sounds nice, I'm concerned they might have all unintentionally trauma bonded. Just my personal speculation, not a fact, because I know the difference.
posting videos, just talking about the cast, comparing them to how they looked before they started filming the Wicked movies compared to now how they look on the red carpet.
How is no one talking about what's going on with Wicked right now? And no, I'm not talking about the movie. The movie was great. These are before and afters. They literally have an all-star cast, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking A-list celebrities. We're all fighting, trying out. They went through a grueling testing period to find the best for Wicked. But these are these celebrities before Wicked, like before even the...
Guys, did you hear what she just said? They had a grueling casting period. When I tell you Cynthia and Ariana, despite them being big names to y'all, had to fucking audition like regular ass bitches repeatedly to get this. Cynthia and Ariana, during what was considered at the time the height of their careers, had to audition like basic bitches from off the street. This franchise has been so big for so many decades, even Cynthia being an almost EGOT and Ariana being a darling of the industry meant nothing. Right? And so because this was so big, by the time they even got to their first day on set, they had already basically run the emotional equivalent of a marathon. If you've never, somebody said Cynthia auditioned for 3 years. Yeah, they auditioned for, if you have never, and I think the pandemic was right because when it was the pandemic, she had just come off of doing the Aretha Franklin thing for the History Channel. I remember that's what she was filming during the pandemic. So to go from Harriet to this is a huge leap. It's a huge leap. You guys, respectfully, not all fame and celebrity are the same. There's a reason why the word A-list exists, right? And so to go through years of prep just to get a yes, and then spend years actually executing, I would be tired, so tired by my first day of work. Y'all, I be forgetting to eat when I do these lives. I forget to eat when I'm doing back-to-back lives. Yeah? And so I'm not making excuses. I actually am not making excuses. I'm doing what I always say during our time together. I'm allowing you guys the context to help you pan out. Pan out. Yeah? About how even if this is a systemic issue that's happening on set, I don't think it necessarily means that it's malintent or something that is worthy of us robbing these ladies of their humanity. Accidentally forgetting to eat because you're overworked, being so anxious and stressed you can't even feel hunger anymore. These are all things that we've all experienced and would not be enough to allow people not to show us basic human kindness. And I know this for a fact because I was told directly, Cynthia is vegan. And she's vegan because meat and certain products were making her feel like ill. So this is somebody who will cut things out of her diet if they hurt her ability to perform or feel healthy. And there was a video that I had included, but it was a little bit long-winded, so I took it out, where someone talks about sometimes when people have vegan diets and they're in restrictive workspaces, it's even easier to lose hold of nutrients, right? So that context is really important. Let's continue watching.
First movie, like before they started filming for the first Wicked, this is them now. So concerned. I saw Ariana
Yes, and Cynthia does not drink. She does not drink.
Grande's transformation. I don't know what we're calling this, and I was concerned. I thought it was like illegal substances, okay? But then to see that the entire other cast, like the entire lineup is going through this same transformation, I don't know what else to call this. Is this Ozempic? What could this be? Are they told that they have to lose weight for this? None of these women needed to lose weight. They were already crazy skinny for their body types.
Hey Gia, we missed you. Welcome back, my love.
And now this looks almost clinical. Like these people need to be seeing a doctor.
EDs are very wicked because when some
Okay, so we're all happy to see Gia. I will say this, somebody saying it's peer pressure. I wouldn't use that language, but I do understand what you're trying to point out. And I'm going to share something for Gia. For those of you like Gia who are just coming in here, we're doing a live about my own ED journey, from ED to being comfortable as a big bitch. It was a journey, child. We're going to be doing that in the members only area right after this live. But one of the things that a lot of people don't want to admit, and this is me sharing some tea as somebody from inside the house, right? When you are somebody who suffers from disordered eating and you are being chastised for looking too thin, it feels like taking an edible. Your ego, as distorted as it sounds, is excited. Also, when you have ED and you're in a gang of people who have ED, for those who are coming late, I might have unintentionally started a disordered eating gang in high school when I was the Regina George, and I've been paying my penance. Okay, this is why I do this work. I have a lot to make up for. Yeah. If the next bitch, even if you love her and that's your best friend, loses more weight than you, there's this subconscious competition that happens that you don't mean maliciously. It's like, oh, what you mean you lost 5 pounds? I've only lost 2. Let me step my shit up. This is not about Cynthia and Ariana. It's about the condition. And we were using the speculations around these 2 young ladies to have a really candid conversation about the condition. So I wanted to include this video because it's rare that people admit this out loud.
Someone becomes obviously underweight and the people around them comment, oh,
I do, chat. That's how I be tricking on y'all. I'm trying to get to heaven. Shit.
your collarbones are showing, I can see your sternum. This is like a hit of the highest high you can give them.
It is.
So affirming, it's so validating. It's like, yes, yes. And honestly, when I've been at my thinnest and people have said, oh, I feel concerned, what's happening? Like inside, I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing backflips inside. I'm doing backflips. And I've never been diagnosed with any of this stuff, thank God. So for someone who is diagnosed and it's like, honestly, like a demonic possession, it's really sad because
so shiny.
they're absolutely destroying themselves. For the public discourse about them to be how teensy they are, this is a high.
I'm not diagnosing them. We're saying that if your speculations were to be true, what you think is you shaming them into getting help is actually doing the opposite. So maybe stop. Stop because you want to be a decent human being, but also stop because if you're right, you're making it worse.
I guess I'll be the one to say this because nobody else seems to be doing it. Talking about the people of Wicked, the cast, and their weight. If they are truly suffering, like so many of you want to accuse them of, and you're bringing it up, how thin they are, how skinny they are, you're making the situation worse. If you've ever read a single thing about any eating disorder, if you've ever had any experience with one, you know that hearing, you're so skinny, you're so, like to them, maybe to the right mind, it's hard for people to understand, but to them, when you say like, oh my God, you look so skinny, you look like a corpse, that is a compliment to them. That is feeding them, sorry for the ironic use of the term, it is feeding into this delusion that is happening. Not to mention, eating disorders are extremely competitive. So when you're around somebody.
Yes, thank you for saying this. Even without actively dieting and people saying something about me looking thinner, I feel good. How many times have you heard people make the joke? I think Stassi Schroeder from the original seasons of Vanderpump Rules said, or something to the effect of, I'm only 1 stomach flu away from my ideal goal weight. Oh no, that wasn't Stassi. That was the other blonde girl who had the baby. But one of those, her name, not Stassi, what was her name? Lala, right? She was like, I'm 1 stomach flu away from my ideal weight. We make jokes when we're sick and saying, I might have been sick with strep, but shit, I'm down a whole pant size, right? We do that. When I went to Cuba, because I was like, oh, I want to get in touch with my roots. And I went back to Cuba and was part of that drumming circle where something jumped into my spirit. And that's when I started making all these fucking candles. I came back with the Holy Ghost and a stomach virus. Okay. And I was snatched. I was on death's door. I had to go to the emergency room and I was in the hospital for 4 days on an IV. When I came out, the first thing everybody said is, damn, bitch, you look good. Your jaw is strapped. Ooh, it's tight. And guess what? I agreed. I was like, yeah, my jaw kind of looks snatched right now. So the fact that everybody was clapping for me when I got a parasite in Cuba, come on, man. We have to be honest about how much we've normalized this. And because, like I said earlier, historically speaking, when liberals are in charge, everybody's body gets a chance. When conservatives are in charge, then the rules of white supremacy dictate that we all have to be super skinny.
who has one and they're getting thinner than you, or they're, there's so many comments about how teeny tiny they are, the other person will start to dwindle as well. I'm sick of people getting on the internet and pretending that their criticisms or need to leave hate comments are helping people, or they have this like hero complex. Oh, like they're just, no. There's several things that could be happening. Some of you probably also have eating disorders and you're literally jealous of them.
Oh, so it wasn't Lala. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I got the name right.
You're all sick. I want you to understand you're literally sick. Coming from somebody who has had one, you are ill.
You see how you wrote because we are starving and broke? How many people, let's be honest, I know so many people who are like, look, the best part about being broke right now is that I don't have to worry about getting fat. And because I'm not a sensitive big girl, like the word fat doesn't bother me. When trolls call me big back, I don't give a fuck. I sincerely don't care. I'm more comfortable in my body than the average woman, to be perfectly honest. And I'm not saying this is a flex, guys. I'm saying that so that if any new people come in here who are sensitive, like, oh my God, you said fat. You know that me saying it is not the same thing as somebody crying into their ice cream saying it. I don't have the same kind of feelings around it. But a lot of people are being like, well, this is the best diet. Me being broke is a diet. Whole time, broke people eat a lot of processed food.
It is not funny. It's not cute. It's not quirky. You're sick and you need to go get help.
So I keep seeing this conversation centered around mostly.
Shout out to my homegirl, Erica Hart. I had to include this because I mentioned to someone, a non-Black friend, that I was thinking about doing this during like a DM conversation. And she said, are you sure about that? Are you sure it's not going to be victim blaming? Are you sure it's not going to be? And she started just listing off all the emotionally fragile language that is weaponized on social media to silence people. And she was like, Blue, you're a mindfulness coach. And so you just want to be mindful. And I said, respectfully, babe, anti-fatness is also steeped in anti-Blackness. So who better than to talk about it than a fat Black woman? Can we be honest, guys? When you see anti-fat rhetoric, the subconscious, maybe you don't realize this is happening. The subconscious message is, you don't want to look like people like Blue. There's a whole industry trying to convince y'all that the worst thing in the world that could happen is that you look like me. Who the fuck better to talk about it? Are you kidding me? You're not going to shame me about confronting something that is meant to attack me. The fuck out of here, respectfully. So I'm gonna let Erica say it nicer because y'all know I talk like an Aries.
Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, and Michelle Yeoh in the Wicked tour, and how much weight they have seemingly lost, right? Mm-hmm. And people keep kind of making these apolitical like statements that say, we shouldn't body shame.
And if you don't understand how anti-Blackness and anti-fatness are intertwined, that's a whole life in itself, love. That's a pretty entry, and this is not me being condescending, but that's a pretty entry level bit of academic rhetoric. So that would have to be a whole life in itself. It's like asking why homophobia is steeped in misogyny and you know what I mean? There's a lot. The phobias are like building blocks. They build on each other. We look down on gay people because gayness is, number one, considered immoral because you're giving into pleasure. And according to the morality police, pleasure is not supposed to be something that is had. You're supposed to only be having sex to procreate. And number two, men who are gay are seen as bitches because we look down on bitches because we look down on women. Right? Same thing with fatness. Historically speaking, Africans, which is where all Blackness comes from, which is why diaspora wars is fucking stupid to me. Blackness doesn't only exist in America. When people be like, oh, I thought he's Nigerian, I thought he was Black. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? Where do you think Blackness comes from? So all Blackness comes from Africa, right? Enslaved Africans were seen as big-bodied and crude and brutish. While the people who enslaved them had smaller frames because they came from different climates where they needed different body parts, right? Our noses in Africa were wide because we were hot. In the Nordic countries, our noses were smaller because there was cold climates. A white person having a small nose simply because they're in a colder climate suddenly got turned into that's prettier. A Black person having a wide nose because they come from a hot ass place where they need to have ventilation suddenly got seen as nigga shit and ugly. Right? And so big Black bodies were seen as ugly. And if a white person had a body that was reminiscent of a big Black body, they were ugly. Anti-Blackness, anti-fatness, kissing cousins. Yeah, that was a crash course, but I just don't want anybody else to be confused because I really want you to come along this journey with me.
Haven't we learned enough from Chadwick Boseman and so on and so forth? And I just think that diminishes the conversation away from talking about
using Chadwick Boseman as a way to silence fat Black people who want to discuss what is happening with this discourse is so unintentionally manipulative. It's unintentionally manipulative. Just want to be clear about that. And Erica does a great job explaining why.
How fat phobic Hollywood, the music industry, the world is, right? And I think it's an easy out, right? And it's a way to not have critique about how thin people seem to think they have to be in a world that's incredibly fat phobic by saying
For the person who's saying plenty of white people have big old honkers and they get chastised for being reminiscent of us, just the same way plenty dark-skinned Black girls have thin lips and thin noses and we call them pretty. I always say colorism is not just about color, it's about hair texture and phenotypes. If a Black woman is dark as night but has silky hair and small nose and small lips, you think you're being a revolutionary by calling her pretty. No, she looks like a chocolate dip white person. You guys, I'm not making this up. This is history, right? I just report the news. I don't make it.
You shouldn't body shame. And I know that there's people who suck that are absolutely body shaming. And
nobody's saying that Black equals fat. We're talking about how crude and oversimplified white supremacy has become, guys. I know there's a whole movement of Black women who say, oh, I hate that you think just because you're Black, you have to be fat. We're not saying just because you're Black, you have to be fat. We're saying that the hate for Blackness comes from the hate the hate for fatness comes from the hate for Blackness. We're not saying that you got to be a big bitch to be Black. Can we not do this? I know TikTok has a lot of Black women internalizing anti-fatness and anti-Blackness without recognizing the irony in that, but let's not do that. I am a big subscriber of people getting healthy in the way that they need. I don't even shame people for Ozempic. So this is not a fat Black girl telling you all have to be a big bitch in order to be pro-Black. I'm not that lazy or stupid. Yeah. What I'm saying is the root of the hatred is still tethered to Blackness. The root of hate for fatness is still tethered to anti-Blackness. The intersectionality is whipping some people's asses. And again, for those who are new, welcome. Like, sincerely welcome. Please don't let my matter-of-fact autistic diction make you think that you are not welcome. Just know that in this space, fallacies and oversimplified rhetoric from social media that can fly elsewhere won't make sense here because we tongue kiss nuance and call it our bitch. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Talking about their bodies in a way that is derogatory. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the fact that there's a whole academic, very political study about the fat phobic origins of fascism and how with a continued rise of fascism, we are going to see people want to strive for being thin. And I don't want us to move away from that conversation because there's these apolitical takes of it's body shaming. And using Chadwick Boseman's, chemotherapy, cancer experience as a way to silence those critiques. There's something about using Chadwick that is not sitting right with me because I feel like it puts the onus on the consumer and not on these institutions that demand of people in large numbers to be thin, right? There's a reason why there's only a handful of celebrities who are fat, right? And who have remained fat, right? There is typically what we see is that someone will enter the industry fat and then they will slowly get thinner and thinner and thinner. Right. And they'll chalk it up to health and they'll chalk it up to, oh, this is just what I want to do for my body. But we know that this is what the industry demands. And I think it's important for us to stay there and calling it out. Not necessarily, obviously, talking shit about somebody's body, but talking about the push to thin.
For those who are making fun of me, I went to Thanksgiving and was drinking out of my cup and walked out with my cup because me and Rihanna are kindred in that way. And I thought it was a plastic cup, and it wasn't until we were halfway home that I realized it was glass. Apologies to the host. Sorry. I like it though. It's getting lots of views. And if I see you again, I'll wash it and give it back. I promise. Hey guys, hey Patricia and family.
In this, and how that is directly connected to anti-Blackness, also eugenics, right? So on and so forth. And it's important to talk about how Wicked is, connected to the Wizard of Oz, and Judy Garland died of an ED, right?
Do y'all understand how the spiritual realm is a wild place? Wicked is based on the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz was considered the greatest film that Judy Garland had ever done in her life. It's the thing that is tethered to her legacy. She died from ED. And now the movie remake of the stage remake is now being steeped in concern around ED. Juju is real. Okay? Shout out to all the new members. Juju is real. Just saying.
I don't think we should look away from that as just body shaming. It is not just the body shaming from the viewers. It is the body shaming from this industry that has folks feel like they have to do it so they can remain relevant, so that they can get a part, so they can, be in a movie, so they can have a music career. We need to be talking about that and calling that out wherever we can.
Nobody beat me up, okay? I'm eating right now. See, smile.
So I'm posting this video because a lot of people, and I try to preemptively speak to concerns or pain points or glaring misunderstandings ahead of time when I cut these videos together. A lot of people want to say that EDs are not a Black thing. And they want to pretend that all Black women love their bodies. Bullshit. I intentionally, of all the videos that I had at my disposal, picked a video of a Black woman admitting that the conversation around Cynthia and Ariana is triggering her into her own ideations around not eating. Because a lot of you are gonna, there are people in this world who are always dismissive. Nothing's a big deal. Nothing's that deep. No, honey, you're not that deep. And then there are people who are like, oh, everything is okay, sure, but can we also go to the club, right? There's a balance that people don't know how to strike on the internet. You're either dismissive or you're making everything heavier than it needs to be. In that sweet spot is what I'm hoping to engage with you today, right? And this young lady is a Black woman who's going to admit that the ED monster be trying to grab her by the ankle in a way that some of you normalize and don't even clock as being unhealthy.
Tots. I'm not gonna lie. All this discourse about Ariana and Cynthia, I won't lie to you, that has triggered. This is not funny. A tear is about to roll down my eye. Y'all, I might have looked at Ariana and said, yeah, that's exactly how I want to look.
As somebody who's had ED, what actually ends up killing you is always exacerbated by the fact that you have no nutrients and your body can't fight it off. In the same way, there's an official Google search about what killed Amy Winehouse, but we all know it's the fact that her body gave out from her going into rehab and not having what she needed to wean off drugs properly. So just understand that some of us are a little bit deeper than a Google search. Just not chastising, just pointing out that what's officially counted and the factors that done it are different. Perfect example, my mother has kidney failure right now. She gets dialysis 3 times a week. She has dialysis 3 times a week and has kidney failure because of decades of hypertension and sugar addiction and diabetes. If you ask me what's killing my mother, I'm not going to say kidney failure. I'm going to say a lifelong commitment to too much sugar. I just want to shout out that nuance, guys. Yes, and stress, sugar and stress.
I might have, and I keep having to say out loud to myself, food is fuel. Food is your friend. So I'm eating.
So what's happening with this young lady is she's forcing herself to remember that food is fuel because seeing Cynthia and Ariana is making her think, damn, I would look better with a snatch face. Y'all, this is real shit. All jokes aside, we don't understand how. Perfect example, when I date men who like bigger women, I'll still eat healthy, but I'll work out a little bit less, or I'll be like, "Ooh, don't want to get too skinny because he likes me thick." And when I date men who are like, oh my God, this is back in the day. I no longer date men who speak like this. But back in the day when I would date a guy who'd be like, oh my God, you're the first big girl I've ever been with, but I think you're so amazing. I would find myself working out a little bit more and eating a little bit less. And I could lie and be like, oh, I'm just doing it for me. Fuck him. No, I'm doing it because my nigga likes it when he can see my clavicle a little bit more. We have to stop moving with so much bravado that we pretend that we don't give a fuck about how people that we care about see us. Not the general public. I sincerely don't give a fuck about trolls. But if the person that I'm laying down with and doing life with has a preference, and I am the preference, it makes me feel good. And if the person I'm laying down with has a preference and I deviate from the preference, it makes me feel bad. That's basic fucking humanity, guys. Which is why I currently have a rule that I don't date men who don't celebrate my body without any disclaimers. The minute a man has a disclaimer about my body, I stop him and tell him, that's an epic fucking turnoff. You either like this shit or you don't. And he can just course correct because he didn't mean it and he's repeating rhetoric that he's heard elsewhere, or he did mean that shit and was trying to get it off. And I made it inconvenient and now he needs to, help me outside while my car is waiting. Yeah? But you have to be to a place where if somebody's not comfortable with you, you're not comfortable with them, especially when it comes to your body and your desirability. Desirability is the one place y'all can't lie. Somebody can lie to me all day long through work and be amazing at their job. They can lie to me all day long as a mother and be a great mother. They can lie to me all day long about how they are in the family and be the most giving person in the family. How you love on people, how you hunch on people, how you navigate your desirability with others will always tell me how you really feel about yourself. That's why I always say, I don't know none of you bitches I see you dating. I don't care if I've known somebody for 20 years. Until I see how you navigate desirability, you could still be lying to me. Can we be honest?
This food is my friend. We're happy, okay? Me and my full, beautiful, round face are happy, okay? I'm not.
Slim Kim, she went viral for saying that being skinny is her biggest flex. She better hope that perimenopause skips her household because perimenopause doesn't give a fuck. Ask me how I know.
Not morbidly obese. I'm not on the brink of death. So I think it's okay that I am not currently starving. But, yeah, I will say growing up in the peak of like ED culture on Tumblr,
shout out to anybody who was around for the Tumblr era. If there was ever anything that almost pulled me back into ED, it was Tumblr. For those who don't know what Tumblr, it was an app full of beautiful pictures of people who were unattainable. And if God forbid, if you didn't look like that, you were screwed. And if you were a big bitch, you better have big titties and a small waist and a fat ass and be lighter than me. Tumblr was crazy. To me, Tumblr was the closest thing to the toxicity, the beauty toxicity of the 90s coming back. I loved it. They had great porn, but Tumblr was, ooh.
I was looking at that like, I need to stop talking about it. I'm like, wait, everybody.
But for the young kids watching, Tumblr was the Hunger Games, Wild Wild West version of Instagram. Imagine if Instagram had way less checks and balances and we were all less woke. Yeah, Tumblr was rough.
Wait, this is triggering for a lot of us. Stop talking about it. Stop posting her.
Do you see what she's saying? We're laughing, but do you see what she's saying? This is triggering for a lot of us. Please stop. I love that we're in an age now where there'll always be people who call you overly sensitive, but I love that we're in an age now where more and more people are comfortable saying the quiet part out loud when it makes sense. Yeah.
Stop. Because the more I see it, the more I'm like, ugh, that's actually exactly how I want to look. And I actually don't want to look at myself in the mirror. And then I'm like, oh my God, the weather is getting colder. And I'm like, wait a second, stop. Pause, catch that thought, grab it.
Yeah.
It's back in my body. I ate it. You see, I'm eating. And I have to like calm, like physically. I hope this reaches the right audience and y'all don't refer me to them people. Okay? I am safe. I am okay. But I just had to let y'all know. It's triggering for other people when y'all I'm looking at Ari like, oh yeah, I kind of do want to look like that. So I hope y'all can see my humor and don't refer me to them people, please.
As a millennial, I'm sick of being gaslit about weight and weight loss. I was in Weight Watchers by the time I was in 8th grade because I...
Raise your hand if you were in Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or some weight loss rigmarole before the age of 18? I'm just going to do an informal poll. Raise your hand if you were already being pulled into diet culture before the age of 18. I see Flo just raised her hand. Thank you, Flo. Amber Vice just raised her hand, and I'm leaving it on the screen so you guys can see in the replay. Look, Queen. You see all the hands raised? Weight Watchers and Atkins, absolutely. Right? Look at all these hands. How are you doing? Right? Look at all these hands of people who, before they were even adults and way before their frontal lobe had completely formed and congealed, they had already been subscribed to, with or without their own knowledge. I'm telling you guys, the first time I went on a diet, my doctor said she's 150 pounds and she's obese. And I'm like, I'm a 5'9" Black girl with big titties. I actually look pretty good, I think. And the gag is, I would love to go back to the body that I was at when they put me on that diet. Had I simply just never subscribed, I would be fine right now and much healthier. It's a trap.
Weighed 140 pounds, God forbid. And that's when heroin chic, Nicole Richie, scary, skinny, was in, and everybody was getting stupid skinny for a while. And then we realized that
Why y'all surprised I'm 5'9"? I feel like I say that often. Yes, I'm 5'9".
was really scary. And thank God the Kardashians came on the scene and it became very cool to be curvy for a while. But then that, of course, got blown out of proportion and it became healthy at any size. Like, even if you're 600 pounds, like, it's totally fine. You can be healthy. And diet culture is toxic, and God forbid you count your calories and like you're an idiot and you're a bad person if you are wanting to lose weight. And of course it was people who are thin who are telling, you know, curvy or like bigger bodied women that like they're not allowed to want to lose weight, right? But now that everyone is emaciated and losing 50 pounds in 2 months and their hair is falling out, and they literally look ill, we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to talk about how absolutely insane and scary it is.
Thank you. I do think that for millennials, whether you're a geriatric millennial, which means you're over 35, or a younger millennial, right? I do think for millennials who watch this already happen, it is annoying and very gaslighty. And I don't use that term flippantly like most people do. It does feel like we're being gaslit, that we're not allowed to call a thing because of this hyper policing of language that was supposed to make us free, but it just feels like a clever way to silence us. Oh my God, Slim Fast in middle school. And bitch, I'm lactose intolerant. That shit was fucking me up. Every time I had a Slim Fast, I had to run to the bathroom. Imagine being told that just because I'm shitting on myself, I still have to drink the Slim Fast. I was like, but I don't think my body like it, right? Had bubble guts for weeks, but I was told it was gonna make me skinny. Somebody said that geriatric hurt. Yes, guys. Welcome. Okay, welcome to the geriatric millennial life.
And the fact that I've been losing weight slowly in a calorie deficit over the last year, like, everybody thinks that I'm crazy for not just injecting myself with something, and thinking that it in a lot of cases could be really toxic to do so. Doesn't mean I'm judging you. How can I judge you? How can I judge somebody who is probably just like me, who has been thinking about their weight and food and everything that goes into their body their entire lives? I don't blame you, babe, for taking that as the way to finally get the body that you want. But we're allowed to talk about it.
It does not matter if Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and the Wicked cast and everybody else who is this thin. It does not matter if they are doing it in a healthy way, an unhealthy way. It doesn't matter.
Now, I thought this was an interesting take, right? Because there are people in certain comments that I was seeing who were saying, but they're both vegan and they work out a lot and there's a lot of dance sequences in Wicked. So, you know, if they're just losing weight naturally because they were already petite and now they're going through this Olympic training for one of the biggest movie franchises in history, why is it a big deal if they're doing it healthy? First of all, y'all don't have that same smoke for the inverse when you see. I always use this example. So those of you who've been here for a while have heard me say this. We don't say shit when Saweetie, a beautiful thin woman with lots of corrective surgeries, is eating prison food as a fun kiki. When Sweetie is showing how she can have flaming hot Cheetos mixed in with ramen noodles and chicken nuggets, and she's eating food with the sodium content that would make my left toe fall off. Yeah? When she's eating 3,000 grams and up of sodium to make prison meals, we think it's funny and cute. Why? Because she looks good. Why is it people only care about health if it's somebody who they don't think is fuckable or attractive by conventional standards? If we really give a fuck about health, y'all would be giving Sweetie the same smoke you're giving bigger bitches. And so I do think I'm concerned about your health conversation, or she's doing it healthy, so it's okay. I am calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. At the end of the day, it's about the aesthetic.
What matters is people with eating disorders are going to look at their bodies and they're going to use those bodies as their perfect body. They are going to use their bodies to push pro-Anna content. And you can say, oh no.
And Anna is the word that people use as shorthand for the other word that we can't say without being demonetized. And so when you see somebody online, because there's a lot of conversation about, oh, we think Cynthia and Ariana are Anna sisters. This is what they mean. They mean literally trauma bonding over a shared dysfunction, quite literally. That's the speculation, guys. I want to repeat over and over and over again that I am not diagnosing anybody with an ED. I'm talking about how the optics of the Wicked cast has opened up a very big cultural wound around EDs.
Yes, they will. And I feel qualified to speak on this because I was one of those people in 2012 on Tumblr. I had a fitness blog. It was not a fitness blog. I convinced myself that it was. I convinced other people that it was because I convinced us that I was eating healthy and I was working out and I was doing it right. I was eating 500 calories a day.
Me too, bitch. I went from 2 to 5 because I kept on passing out. Wow. Yeah, I went from 2 to 5. That's crazy.
I was running 2.5 miles and I was doing circuit training in between.
Same.
I was killing myself. Not intentionally, but I was starving myself and I was harming myself to a degree that I literally lost an organ.
Can we be honest that even to this day, a lot of fitness blogs are just thinness blogs because the girls who are doing fitness got a BBL and a body sculpt and a breast lift and a brachioplasty for their arms and then put on some Lululemon shorts and said that they worked out for it. Even to this day, I don't think that there's any distinction. I think most people who have fitness blogs, most, not all, because I know a couple who are actually into fitness, but as somebody who's had a lot of influencer friends come and go, most of the girlies that I knew who were doing that kind of work were either naturally thin and ate worse than me. I'd be eating a Caesar salad while they were eating fucking hot dogs. But because of their genetic makeup, it didn't impact them the same way, right? So because we have an industry where so many fitness people are not even fit. When I lost that weight, I'm going to talk about it in the members only live, but when I went from 300 pounds to losing a significant amount of weight after my aunt passed, because it was grief weight, guys. You guys don't ever talk about this a lot. Well, you guys don't talk about this often, I should say. I didn't gain weight from overeating. I gained weight from cortisol. My cortisol levels had spiked so much from the grief and shock of how my aunt died that I gained 50 pounds in 6 months, even though I was not eating anything more. It wasn't food. It was stress. Stress can make you fat, guys, especially if you're somebody whose metabolism is already a little bit weak because of years of dieting. So I had years of dieting, got healthy through eating normally, was a size 14, 16, and was like, hey, I'm having great sex in this body. I'm actually good here. I'm actually good being a 14, 16 as a cute Black woman. I could pull niggas. I'm good. And then my aunt passes, and the unwavering grief that slapped me upside the head, then my cortisol level spiked so high that I gained 50 pounds. Didn't even get to enjoy it by eating, right? And so we have to understand that the conversation around fitness versus thinness is often just full of bullshit. Because nobody wanted to hear it from me at 300 pounds. If I was doing this video now at 300 pounds, you're like, well, Blue, you're a big bitch now. No. Can we be honest? I think I'm as big as you can get and still be taken seriously. Because when I gained that extra 50 pounds, I had been fat my entire life, but it stunned me how there actually are levels to fatness. There are levels to fatness, guys. A woman who was between a size 12 to 18 is taken a lot more seriously than a woman who's in the 20s. At a size 24, don't nobody want to hear that shit. Can we be honest? It stunned me. Ain't nobody listening to a size 24. We're like, bitch, can you even breathe? It stunned me that despite decades, a lifetime of being fat, I had gone from being 150, which was just thick, to all the white folks in Boston, right? I mean, it was thick, but to the white folks in Boston, I was obese at 150. To being 200, but now I got titties and a small waist and niggas love me. To being 250, I'm like, oh, bitch, don't push it. And then 300 was a whole different world that I had never seen before. And being black didn't matter, okay? At 300, I became invisible. And so I need you guys to understand that we have to be honest in order to heal. I'm gonna just leave it there. I don't want to preach too much because I want to make sure that I'm not talking so much that we don't get to the members
from it. I don't have a gallbladder because of this. And I can directly...
Oh, honey, I wish that was true. They've now recoined it as mid-size, but you can find size 12s in Lane Bryant. The same way I'm no longer dark skin, I'm now brown skin because y'all moved the lever. A size 12. You know how I know size 12 is plus size? Because I was a plus size model when I was 19 and I was a size 12. They call it mid-size now. But when I signed a plus size modeling contract on my 19th birthday, I was a size 12, baby. I promise you.
Attribute it to Tumblr and the pro-Anna content that I consumed on there and then regurgitated to other people and probably harmed other people with my actions in that. I'm not proud of that. That's not okay. And that's my entire point with this. We have got to stop acting like these bodies are normal and healthy. It's not body shaming. It is that there are young people that are going to look at these bodies and use that as an excuse to then harm themselves. Because I was one of them. I will never, ever get the phrase, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels out of my fucking
Oh, I
brain.
remember that phrase. Victoria Beckham and them used to say that shit all the time. Oh my God, the fashion girlies used to love nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Oh, you probably have never had good gumbo then, but okay.
Believe that. But it's burned in there. Pictures of thigh gaps. Pictures of collarbones sticking out. Burned in my brain.
I don't mean to laugh during the serious thing. They're making fun of me in the chat because I'm pissed that people keep telling me that dark skin has now been turned to whatever the fuck they call it. I like saying dark skin, so I'm just laughing at that. I don't want you guys who are not looking at the chat to think that I'm laughing at this lady's sad story. It's my ADHD. I apologize.
And I've come a really long way. But it would be a lie to say that I never had an eating disorder and that I was never in those circles, because I absolutely was. And this is very dangerous. And we've got to do something about it. I don't know what, but something's got to be done.
I agree. And just to show the point, somebody posted a picture of themselves working out with an overlay of the Wicked cast playing Cynthia's voice as goals. As goals. I'm not sharing this to shock anybody. I'm sharing it so that anybody who wants to dismiss this as overreacting can know that shout out to you if your algorithm is not showing you this, but it does not mean it's not happening.
This conversation has gotten really, really crazy. I mean, I do think that with so many people talking about being on Ozempic.
Y'all just said mid-sized brown. Fuck y'all. You know what? Stop trolling me. I'm trying to have a serious conversation. You embarrassing me in front of the new folks. Guys, come on, Blue Crew, please. I'm trying to be serious. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Especially in the celebrity world, has opened up a whole floodgate for people to speculate on which celebrities are on what, and is that what they're doing? And people feel very comfortable making assumptions.
Someone said the Wizard of Ozempic, and I nearly lost my life. You can't scroll.
The Wizard of Ozempic. Because Ozempic is OZ. Oh, that's wild. Y'all know that sometimes I'll add clips that I haven't seen yet so I can have real reactions. That's a lot.
For longer than 5 seconds without seeing it at the minute. Everybody is talking about it. What the hell is going on with Cynthia and Ariana Grande? Half the internet saying they're in love, half the internet saying that they've been traumatically fused. And then some of us are just thinking, is that Wizard of Oz curse back?
Somebody said Ariana has a bunch of trauma and she recently lost her grandmother, and just the amount of people making nasty comments about Ariana and Cynthia, and people are saying they are. As someone who's dealt with a lot of grief in the last decade, that breaks my heart. It really does.
You're seriously off with this, and you don't need HD or a backstage pass to see it.
After seeing the photos of Michelle Yeoh, I'm just flabbergasted.
Guys, is this a real picture? Because of AI, I have trust issues. That's really what she looks like now. Oh. I'm gonna say this, regardless of if people have an ED or it's just aging, because some people gain weight when they age, some people lose weight when they age. Regardless of what it is, I really hope everybody's okay and that they're guarding their peace while not being enabled. Y'all know I was at that second part. Guarding your peace doesn't mean avoiding getting the help you need. Okay. Just need to say that.
I don't know what's going on with this cast. It's honestly giving evil to me, and I know there's been people saying like, oh, Wicked's evil. No, this is whatever's going on that set with these women, and if this is a competitive ed, I'm not sure. It's just all very dark, and
I hope y'all caught that competitive ed, right? It was the point that I shared earlier. When you have an ED and you're on somebody else who is thin, whether they have an ED or not, they could be naturally thin. Subconsciously, the disease makes you competitive. It's part of the disease. If we're going to be honest that alcohol addiction is a disease, if we're going to play the whole fucking Danish deception and say that gambling is a disease, an ED is also a disease. And so it's contagious. It is contagious if it is happening.
I'm just not feeling it. That's why I haven't seen either movie, to be honest with you.
Something is definitely going on with the whole Wicked cast, because this doesn't make sense. Because what is going on with Michelle Yeoh? Like, this is her before she was on Wicked. This is her as of the new Wicked for Good.
And guys, I'm posting these now because I want to pan out not just from Ariana and Cynthia and say that people are pointing out it's the entire cast, not just the main two.
Good. And look how she looks. She looks no different than Cynthia or Ariana Grande. Like even Ethan Slater, look at him. His eyes have light behind it. This is before he joined the cast of Wicked. And him now, he looks like he has no light in his eyes.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, are they all just tired? Not to be sensational, are they all just really tired?
Like, he looks like a totally different person. He literally looks like he's dead inside.
So as you can see, this conversation has just absolutely blown up. And that is when Ariana stepped in again. And she posted this on her Instagram story. It is a resurfaced clip from a
It's another repost, guys. Don't lose your shit for those who were stimming earlier. It's another repost. We're saying it out loud. Okay.
2024 interview from the last Wicked press tour of her and Cynthia sitting down. And she said, resharing this from last year as a loving reminder to all. I always love and appreciate our talks so much at Sally. And in this interview, she was talking about how she's been treated like a specimen in a petri dish since she was a teenager, and talked about how uncomfortable it's been to be dissected online since she was 16 or 17, and how she's heard it all.
You know, I've been kind of doing this in front of the public and kind of been, you know, a specimen in a petri dish really since I was 16 or 17. You know?
That always strikes me because 16 and 17 were hands down the most insecure years of my life. I had never hated myself more. I hated myself at 17. Did not realize I was cute. I think the only thing that made me feel cute was watching there was shows like Living Single. And I always give Queen Latifah credit for this. Whenever a boy would like me and he'd make a Khadijah James joke, I'm like, oh, okay, well, Queen Latifah's gorgeous. That's not a fucking debate. If you think I'm in the key of Queen Latifah, maybe you actually do find me attractive because I know she's attractive, right? Queen Latifah was probably one of the only visual examples I had of how someone who looked like me could be attractive sincerely and not just people giving you lip service. Because I've never liked bullshit. I've always hated fake compliments, right? And so that's why I think it's so important when you're in a healed and healing headspace and you love yourself to be vocal about it, because you don't know who's watching. She might have known to some degree, but people like Queen Latifah don't realize how them simply being attractive and liking themselves and pulling niggas and having fun homegirls and having a full life. 17-year-old Blue who hated herself, just seeing that for 30 minutes, right, in a rerun was like, oh, okay, she cute. We are wearing the same outfit, have the same hair and the same body. Okay. And she the tallest one in the group because I was always the tallest bitch in our friend group. And y'all think she popping. Okay. And now, what do I always say? When someone pours into you in that way, even if it's unintentionally, you kind of have to pay your penance by doing it back, right? When I talk about how much I sincerely care about myself, it's not because I need to flex. It's because I'm clear There's some middle-aged woman in some part of the world right now who sees herself in me based on how I look or my age or my size or my diction or my chism or whatever, right? Whatever parts of me she's relating to. And it's like, this bitch is taking up a lot of space and seems to be having fun. Maybe I could do that too. And what's wild is when you're younger and less experienced or more bitter, because there are people who just are doing it because of bitterness, no matter what age they are. You see celebrities go on stage or go to talk shows and say that if just one person can see themselves, it was worth it. And we're thinking, bitch, that is bullshit. You are a millionaire. And it's wild when you get older and more healed and recognize that's actually true sometimes. It actually is humbling to know that your testimony could help somebody else in the way that somebody helped you. It's not all bullshit, guys. I think Hollywood is interesting, and those of you who are in the industry in here, because there's a couple of you that I recognize in the industry in here can attest to, Hollywood is interesting because everything is darker than it looks, and everything's also more human and lighter than it looks. There are celebrities that you guys think are evil who are regular people playing a role who are actually pretty chill. And then there are faves that you think are amazing who I think are the devil incarnate. Hollywood is worse than you think and better than you think simultaneously. It's the weirdest mind fuck. It's so weird. And these girls are steeped in it. One thing I can say, being someone who was in Cynthia's ecosystem for a significant amount of time, is this is the top echelon of access and scrutiny. And it's a double-edged sword. Yeah?
No, so I have heard it all. I've heard every version of it, of what's wrong with me. And then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons. But that's everything from, even just the simplest thing, your appearance, that you're young and you're hearing all kinds of things. It's hard to protect yourself from that noise. And
it's hard to protect yourself from that noise when you're a grown adult who's lived life. Imagine being a teenager who this is all you know.
I think it's something that is uncomfortable no matter what scale you're experiencing it on. Mm-hmm. Even if you go to Thanksgiving dinner and someone's granny says, oh my God, you look skinnier, what happened? Or you look heavier, what happened? It's like, that is something that is uncomfortable and horrible.
Yeah, I will tell you this. The first time I saw my family after I gained that 50 pounds, they were like, oh, you got fat. I was like, hi. How you doing? Hey. It was so awkward. I was like, are you just, hello? Nice to see you would be nice. And then fast forward, like maybe a year later, after I had been working out all the time and busting my ass and XY, Ozempic doesn't work on me, y'all, because my cortisol level is so high. My cortisol ate up the Ozempic and spit out the gristle, child. And so after a year of busting my ass through the hormonal shit to lose the weight, I come back and they're like, oh, look at you looking sexy. And what's wild is, guys, it's so interesting the timing of this. I have been working so hard and been so stressed, but a happy kind of stress. Happy stress is still stress, y'all. I've gained 20 pounds back this year. And I was like, okay, in December, for health reasons, fuck vanity, for health reasons, because my mother is a glimpse into what my future could be if I don't get my sugar addiction together, right? Because when I'm tired, sugar is like energy. I was like, in December, I'm going to do a healthy replay of what got me in shape a couple of years ago, right? And it was so interesting. My first thought this morning when I realized it was December 1st is, Blue, do it as if you like yourself. Lose the weight in the way that you know how to lose weight when you like yourself. Don't do that shit. Like, I had a thing in my mind, like it's Christmas time and it would be so easy to slip back. Don't you dare slip back. And then I wake up to this story about Ariana and I was like, okay, that's a sign from God. This has to be our first topic. This has to be our first topic, right? And so for the girlies out there who are trying to get a head start on January and like, oh, I know I have Christmas dinners and X, Y, and Z, but I do want to get healthier. Yes, get healthier and be mindful not to fall into this trap because it's so easy.
No matter where it's happening.
She pointed out that people feel way too comfortable commenting on other people's bodies when they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. And she also just mentioned how dangerous it is to assume anything about somebody else and what's going on with them.
In today's society, there's a comfortability that we shouldn't have at all. Yeah. Commenting on others' looks, appearance, what they think is going on behind the scenes, or health, or how they present themselves, from what you're wearing to your body, to your face, to your everything. There's a comfortability that people have commenting on that I think is really dangerous. And I think it's dangerous for all parties involved. And I think that...
Did you hear what she said? I think it's really dangerous for all parties involved. And look how the entire time Cynthia is watching her to make sure she's good. Not even looking at the interviewer. She's watching her like, you good? You good? They've talked about this before. We know that they're besties now, right? It's dangerous for all parties. My ear pinged when I heard that. This is partial PSA, partial plea for compassion, partial cry for help. Yeah? Like, hey, I'm going through a lot. And y'all are mean. So maybe not so much. Oh, poor baby.
I'm really lucky to have the support system that I have, and to just know and trust that I'm beautiful, you know?
Oh, the word comfortability makes you angry. So there's the word conversate. I know that Biggie Smalls got y'all to put it in the dictionary. It's still not a word. I still say converse. I will never say conversate. It's not a fucking word. It's converse. So I get it, Minson. Trust me, I get it.
Thank you. And so are you.
Thank
so
you.
are you.
Yeah.
But I do know what the pressure of that noise feels like. It's been a resident in my life since I was 17.
And that was last year that she said this. And this year, I feel like the conversation surrounding how everybody in the Wicked cast looks has just gotten so big that it's like every video, everyone is putting these compilations together, comparing how all of these women look. But I've also seen people throw Jeff Goldblum into the mix there. They've also been talking about him as well.
He's such a zaddy to me. That's a handsome white man. And not handsome in the traditional sense. He's weird looking, but it's a sexy older gentleman. Like, I've always loved the sexy weirdness of Jeff Goldblum. I'm here for it. And he looked like he smelled good, because y'all know I like things that smell good because of, you know.
It's not just the women. It really is like the whole Wicked cast. Everyone is talking about how everybody looks. They're like, what happened on set? And clearly Ariana wants this conversation to be shut down. She is tired. And I could see why.
We're all
like I said,
tired.
this is not the first time that she's ever had to come out and tell people to not talk about her in this way.
These two are dating. Technically, they're in a non-demi-curious, semi-binary relationship with
non-demi-curious, semi-binary relationship took me the fuck out. In fact, in January of this year, I made a video. Do I still have it? Let me see if I can see it on my page. I made a short this year about how I despise when y'all use this kind of language. Let me do a screen share. Yep, let me see. I think I just found it. I'm gonna take this down for a second because I'm including this because it would feel a little intellectually dishonest for me to talk about the Ariana and Cynthia Erivo discourse and what it's inspired without also talking about the conversation around them potentially being romantically entangled. And so I'm not gonna let the fact that I have any connection to Cynthia make me be super evasive. And though, when I saw this, my first reaction, let me remove this and put this up. My first reaction to this conversation was to think about this video. And you guys, let me know if the audio is working. Oh, wrong video. Why did I just pick a random video? That's not the video I chose. All right, let's try again. Hold on.
Non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health recovery. I am a white transmasculine femme non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health recovery.
So guys, when y'all say shit like that, you lose me. I'm an old bitch from the 90s. What's happening? So when I heard this, I said,
It makes sense because Cynthia Erivo is already in a relationship. She's basically already married, and Ariana Grande supposedly she's still with Ethan Slater. What does this mean? Cynthia explains it. It means we are not actually.
Okay, guys. Just to show that God's still working on me, you know how I like to have my little snack when we're talking, just to keep my My blood sugar up. Ciao. Why did I just reach for a cookie? Throw the whole live away. Throw the whole live away, guys. Live is over. We're not doing members only. I was about to start munching on a red velvet cookie. I don't want to do this anymore. You see how easy. You see how easy it is to fall into old habits. I'm going to have to. My cleaning lady's coming tomorrow because she has to. She has not been here in a very long time, and it shows. Is that a box of Oreos? You guys, I shit you not. If I wasn't private about my home, I look to the left to say I'm going to have to start throwing stuff out. There's a box of Oreos. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I am going to still eat the cookie. But yeah, you know what? Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. We should all do a sugar fast together. Who's down? Because no, the fact that I'm doing this thoughtful academic breakdown of ED and the effects and the difference between thinness and health. And if you focus on your health, then the body that you have is a body that you deserve and you earned and you should love on it. Doing all this shit. And there's a red velvet cookie. Anybody down? How long should we do the sugar fast, guys? Should we give up sugar for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days? Let's do, not plot twist, vicious. Remember me different, okay? I keep telling y'all to remember me different. So how long should we do the sugar fast, guys? I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail the live, but the fact that I'm doing this live and reach for a fucking red velvet cookie, mind you, I don't even like red velvet. I'm a chocolate girl. Red velvet just feels like fake chocolate to me. But for some reason, when I ordered a salted caramel cookie from 7-Eleven at 2 a.m. last night, judge a mother, okay? He brought me the wrong cookie, and I ate it anyways, and it was surprisingly good. And I was like, oh, I'm not really a red velvet girl because if I'm going to eat chocolate, I like my chocolate dark like I like my men, okay? But this actually tastes like real chocolate, so I ate it, and I was going to save it for live so we can have a little snack because, you know, we'll be having snacks and stuff. 7 days. Girl, I said 30 or 60. Y'all saying 7. God's still working on you, huh? God's still working on you. I said 30, 60, or 90, and okay. 24 hours. Y'all, let's do 30 then. Let's do 30 days. Thank you. The fact that y'all keep on saying single digits is telling me that 60 and 90 are too much. So let's do a 30-day. Oh, and there's 31 days in December. So technically we could start tomorrow. No. Because, no, okay, maybe we should do 28 days because I'm going to consume some sugar on New Year's Eve. I don't even want to lie to y'all. No, I'm not starting January 1st. There's a traffic jam. You guys, the fun thing about me, I refuse to start anything on January 1st. It's too much pressure. My ADHD shuts down. I'm the kind of girl who likes to start earlier so that by January 1st, I can ignore y'all because I'm already tapped in. Let's do 28 days. Let's do a 28-day sugar fast from how many days is 28? Let me look it up. Yes, guys, we're doing this together. From Tuesday, the 2nd to the 30th, okay? December 2nd to the 30th. Members, if you can hear my voice, and regular people who are not members, I'm not going to judge y'all. I will be honest, though. I favor the members. I'm not even going to pretend we're all equal here. We're not, right? Because we're building community over there. Members and others, new folks included, from December 2nd to the 28th, we are collectively, am I really doing this? Okay, I'm really doing this. All right, I'm going to look into the camera because that means I'm creating a timestamp. From December 2nd to the 28th, we are all collectively going to go on a sugar fast that includes especially processed foods. You're going to have to, somebody said no Christmas cookies, you're going to have to eat Christmas cookies on New Year's Eve, baby. Oh, and Estelle's she's doing Christmas dinner this year, and she be making some good, oh, fuck. Estelle has this thing, shout out to Estelle, she can see this. I love you, friend. She has really yummy British chocolates and little British snacks that I be shoving into my pockets when I go to her house. I mean, she knows it. I'm not stealing them. It's consensual. No, because by the 25th, Christmas Day, I only have 3 days left. I'll probably be tapped in. Okay. Estelle, if you see me eating the snacks, don't tell on me. 28 days. December 2nd. Ooh. Okay. December 2nd, you see me making peace with it. December 2nd to the 30th, we're giving up sugar. All right, let's continue the video because this is escalated quickly and I don't want to commit to anything else.
We are curious about what that could mean and everything. Huh? It's already weird what's going on with the Wicked cast and like their look before Wicked versus after Wicked. But now Ari and Cynthia are wondering what it's like to date each other? The crying in all the interviews was a little weird, but then Cynthia like doing Ari's necklace when there was nothing else to be fixed, and then it's good Cynthia had Ari's back when this menace came on and tried like attacking her.
There was so much discourse around Cynthia jumping in to save Ari. I'm intentionally not touching that. It gave me a headache. There's plenty of other influencers, content creators, social commentarians who've covered the whole, is she a mammy mule pick me bitch for child? If anybody tries to jump up to my friend, I'm going to do the same thing. So that's my simple critique is if you fuck with my homies, I'm jumping in front of you. So I'm Team Cynthia on this one.
Kind of. He's also banned from Singapore permanently. But then also in this interview, like Cynthia's like, no, don't touch her. And then she like kisses Ari's arm.
I'm trying to get it down from 28 days to 21 days. Okay. Y'all got me negotiating. Okay, let's do it 21 days. All right, fine. Because it is Christmas. I don't want to be like the bah humbug. So you guys, okay, you've talked me down. We're giving up. No, remember when Beyonce had that brand, that vegan brand called Day 22? We're giving up sugar for 22 days because it takes 21 days to break a habit, and day 22 is when it's become the norm. So for 22 days, and funny enough, my aunt passed away. 22 was my angel number. We're giving up sugar from the 2nd of December to the 23rd of December. 22 days, okay? From the 2nd to the 23rd. So from tomorrow, okay, I'm about to fuck up this cookie. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But from tomorrow to Christmas Eve. No, I said 22, friend. We're not doing it no more. This is how you can tell that sugar is an addiction. The fact that we have been trying to navigate giving up sugar for a full 5 minutes. We're giving up sugar for 22 days. That's the lowest I'm going. No, I'm looking at the thingamajiggy. I'm counting the day of. 7, 14, 20. Oh, it is the 22nd. You're right. Okay, so it's 22nd. From 2 to 22. You're right. I was trying to add an extra day. From the 2nd to the 22nd, we're giving up sugar. Okay? 22 days. Flo bought y'all an extra day. So I was about to have y'all doing day 26 and shit. All right? So after today, where I live today ends in a couple hours. After today, from December 2nd to the 22nd, no sugar. The only sugar you can have is fruit. Watch y'all fuck up some grapes. But anyways, all right, let's go back to watching this.
Hand, whatever it is. You know, them being together would make sense. Yeah, there's the kiss. Them being together would make sense, but also it wouldn't really because Cynthia already has a partner and Ari also already has a partner, but I don't think Ariana's ever dated a woman before. But I mean, hey, Cynthia's in a relationship and we know Ari allegedly likes those in relationships.
Ooh, low blow. Real quick, guys, do we believe these speculations? My child said it went from 90 days to 60 to 30 to 28 to 22. I'm not going no longer than 22. But you see how hard it is to give up sugar? The fact that we bargained so hard. Does anybody believe that they're romantically involved? Maybe it's because I know too much, but I was like, I don't. Y'all making it real homoerotic, and I get it. Theater kids make everything homoerotic, so I guess I get it.
So is it the craziest thing in the world? No. But do I think these two would actually get together? No.
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are not in a semi-binary relationship. Why do I keep seeing this up and down my timeline on all platforms? This quote, we are in a non-demi-curious semi-binary relationship. is everywhere. Literally, when you Google Cynthia Erivo's name right now, this pops up.
Yeah,
It's so funny to me because obviously everybody is like side-eyeing Cynthia and Ariana's relationship, but to think that it's romantic to me doesn't really make any sense. I think this is more of like a trauma bond. Filming shows, movies, whatever, often takes a lot out of people. So I just think this is hours long, work filled days where they're just, expressing their gratitude. They're theater kids. This is like their dream. They just can't get over it. They're so emotional. I don't think that they're in love. However, if they ended up randomly popping out talking about something they're in love, I wouldn't be that I wouldn't be that shocked. But what these ladies really need is a vacation, okay? They need time away from each other, away from the screens, away from the...
They do need time away from each other. Sometimes you can bond with somebody so much it does create codependency. So I don't think they're romantically hunching. I do think they are a little bit codependent.
Lights, the camera, the action, just to decompress so that they can relax. Every time I see these videos, I'm like, what's going on?
And for those who were like, no, Blue, they hunching, they fucking, Cynthia said it. Well, actually, I looked it up. What they're saying is no, Cynthia Erivo did not say she and Ariana Grande are in a non-demi-curious relationship. This is a viral rumor that originated from fake social media posts and satirical content. The phrase was created by fans to describe their bond, and a fabricated quote attributed to Erivo has been debunked as satire. The two have maintained that they are close friends with a strong professional bond, say Times of India, right? And here's the thing, guys. I told you before about how a certain fandom was going around saying that we on this live were doing voodoo, witchcraft, tarot, demonic readings on Shelly and Ace. And I was like, I've never done a reading on a celebrity on camera in my life. I don't have to because actual celebrities come to me behind the scenes. I've never done that. It's never happened. They have receipts of you on TikTok doing readings. Number one, I've never done a reading on TikTok. I've only gone live on TikTok once for 20 minutes from my hotel room and then fell asleep. So that didn't happen. And you can't have a receipt of something that never happened. Watching the amount of people who are taking this rumor that we, the Blue Crew, are doing demonic TikTok rituals against two random reality stars has been fascinating. The amount of stupidity that I've seen from people attacking me for something that quite literally never happened, and there's a public record of it never happening, has made me realize, oh, okay, this demi-curious relationship thing, how y'all are running with it, it's no different. The same people who are saying, Blue, we have your back, we know it never happened because we were there, are also the same people who might not have thought to Google if Cynthia actually said this and she didn't. And so please be clear that the stupid is contagious. Oh, and by the way, I told the trolls because I intentionally tagged, I'm so confrontational. I tagged the whole Shelley's fandom on Threads. I wanted them to know that I've been watching them for weeks and I don't give a fuck. And I tagged them on purpose because I knew that they were all come out and start cussing me out. Oh, you big back bitch, you big back bitch. Okay. You know what else is a big back? My direct deposits, right? I knew all these losers, and I'm calling you losers to your face. If you're watching, I'm calling you a fucking loser to your face. They would come out and start cussing at me, so I would know who to block. It was like spraying or setting off a roach bomb in a house and just letting all the bugs come out the walls. Sure enough, at one point they say, and you're poor Shelly, you know, she's Haitian. I said, guys, you mental giants, I'm Haitian. And so is Mike. You're attacking me and Mike. We're both Haitian. You know what they said? Oh, so now you want to be Haitian. You've never been Haitian before. Imagine being so stupid in listening to a rumor that you don't even research the person you're talking shit about to realize that you think they're attacking a Haitian person and they're Haitian themselves. And then want to pretend they made up their ethnicity when they point out the obvious. And guys, this was the day after Thanksgiving. My last post on Instagram stories was me reposting Mike playing compa music of us talking about our Haitian Thanksgiving. You ain't even got to be Inspector Gadget. If you just hit the little button on my Instagram, you would have seen me eating turkey with a bunch of Haitians. That's all to say. They're stupid. Yeah, they're intellectually stunted. Don't fall into the same trap. Get into the habit of making sure that before you kiki about a story, that it actually even fucking happened. That's all. And shout out to all the Shalace fans who watch me and stalk my page. A view is a view. So me and my mortgage, thank you.
The reason that it is so strange and difficult and uncomfortable and cringy and weird and everything else under the sun to watch Cynthia and Ariana's relationship play out during the Wicked press run is not just like one thing, right? It's not just one issue. Like, y'all are talking about.
She's right. The whole Wicked thing has just been weird for many reasons. Just weird for many reasons.
As if this is like a 1-tier cake. No. This like a 3, 4, 5 tier, like big Belgian, big German chocolate, big stinker dookie cake they was eating on Matilda. Like, this is like, there's so many reasons why that relationship is odd. Like, and I think everybody's right, but it's just like, whenever I see it, be like, no, the real reason is, but actually it's, girl, it's all of it. That's what makes it awful to watch. Yes, they're theater kids, and they're actively in the middle of their like theater era, right? They're like living it right now. When I was in theater actively, peak insufferable. Do I still got it right now? I still got it. I could tap in every blue moon, but I don't. I keep it.
Oh, theater people are insufferable, and they know it. I don't think any of us have to debate that theater kids are insufferable. Saying this as somebody who wanted to be Pollyanna growing up. Insufferable.
Cute, but it's in the back pocket whenever it's time, right? That shit not in their back pocket right now. They full throttle. And then you couple that with the fact that like Ariana is in her like, oh my God, I'm so petite, I'm so tiny, I'm just so little in my itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini era. And everybody is like supporting the infantilization of like Ariana, right? Like, yeah, whenever like Cynthia goes to like defend her, help her, protect her, whatever, it's gonna give mammy. That's what it's gonna look, because she walking around like she a Polly Pocket or something. But I also do believe that she helped her because that's her homegirl, that's her friend. They're in love with each other. They're obsessed. Do I think they was playing rock, paper, scissors? Not as much as I think they took a knife to the palm of their hand and then shook them. Like, that I think is way more likely, if we be honest. But my point is, it's all of the things, right? That is why it's so horrible to watch. That's why everybody's so uncomfortable. It's like, oh my God, y'all are fawning over each other all day.
But yeah, they were calling Cynthia Mammy for protecting Ariana when she got jumped from that lady. That's the discourse that I was telling you earlier that I opted out of. I was like, I'm not doing a video about that.
Y'all are theater kids, so you're mad annoying. You got these weird race dynamics at play. Like, it's not just like, it's not like it's just like, oh, these people are close and it's weird. It's like, y'all have too much going on.
Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo love each other.
And I love you. And
this is the last video, guys. And to all the people in the members, after this video plays, we are going to take a 15-minute cookie sugar break. Consume your last bit of sugar while you still can, because it's 11:20 on the East Coast, so y'all got like 40 minutes. And then we're gonna meet back 10 minutes after this live is over. No, let's make it 15 minutes after this live is over, because I've been live and doing stuff all day and I have a little bit of headache. We're gonna come back to do the story time about my weight loss and body positivity journey, and how I went from having an ED and being the leader of an ED gang in school to being the happy big bitch you see before you now. So we're gonna have a break, don't worry.
yeah.
Ariana has exhibited the same bizarre, obsessive behaviors towards Cynthia as Cynthia has to her. I mean, we all remember the finger thing, right?
Yeah, that was interesting.
I didn't know that was happening.
Their friendship is beautiful and deep and weird, but from what we've known from them, Cynthia jumping in when Ariana was grabbed was not weird. That's what friends do. That's even what acquaintances would do. And Black women are allowed to be friends with people. Do I agree that Black women are expected to be everyone's savior and it's exhausting? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think that's what happened here? No. Can I for sure say that Ariana would have done the same for Cynthia? No. But what I can say is, just a few weeks ago, a Black woman got a glass smashed on her head in front of both of those women, and both of those women jumped in to help that Black woman. They comforted her and they made her feel better.
You okay?
Oh, I know it's on the 820 in Cali. I'm gonna have me a whole snack after this live. But I'm talking about to the East Coast folks to get their last cookies in.
And not to be parasocial, but everything I know of Ariana Grande shows that she's a deeply compassionate person that cares a lot about the people around her. And she's also been through a lot. And believe it or not, I do think you can be so woke that you're being a little bit unfair.
I agree. Some people are woke for the sake of wokeness, not for the sake of actually improving people's lived experiences. And you can tell the difference.
Like, seriously, what was Cynthia Erivo supposed to do? Her best friend got bum rushed. And it kind of feels like no matter what Black women do, even when people are trying to be defensive of them, they're still being scrutinized.
Agreed. Oh, the lingering impact. Sorry, there's one more. It's very quick. What is the lingering not me using pro-black Umar Charlie Brown. This is Charlie Black. Y'all know Charlie Brown? This is Charlie Black. I wanted to end with the lasting impact, guys, because whether you care about Ariana, Cynthia, or Wicked or not, there's a way that this is going to impact all of us, and I wanted to end on this note.
I've been telling y'all, I foresee a dark future for us in terms of the body trends of 2025. 2025 will mark the year that skinny is officially established. Like, this is it. And it's not just normal skinny. It is the concerning, sickly, deathly looking skinny. It is officially, it's there. I saw a girl in here mention that she saw this trend happening when she watched the Golden Globes and saw that everyone is starting to look like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. You don't notice when the shift is happening, but there's going to be one point where it just clicks and you're going to see that everyone suddenly looks like this. And for me, it's always characterized by seeing these bones. Like, you see the bones right here. These bones.
Oh yeah, as a former ED girly, the bones was how you knew that you were doing something right, and I hate that. I'm not condoning it, guys. I'm not condoning it. I hated that. I hate that that's how we knew that we had starved ourselves enough. And I really hope that if you're somebody who gets excited about seeing the bone, that you examine why that's not okay. It's actually not. It's not. And if you naturally just have bony clavicle and you can be 500 pounds and still have it, then that's something else, right? But get out of the habit of thinking that your bone sticking out of your skin means something good happened. Because a lot of you do that and don't realize how much internalized ick is in there. I'm just saying. Perfect example. I've been watching Mormon Wives. Yes. Do you guys want me to do a live on Mormon Wives? Because I find Mormon Wives so fascinating. But the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu, I was watching it, and I love Taylor. I think Taylor Frankie is definitely the star of that show. And at one point, she stood sideways, and I saw how thin she was, and she had just had a baby. And the black girl on there, I think her name is Layla or something. I saw her, and I was like, "Oh, she is." Okay. Maybe she's naturally thin. Watching how the Mormon Wives is now becoming this generation's version of Real Housewives and how thin these girls are. Should we do a live about Mormon Wives? You guys want a Secret Lives of Mormon Wives thing? Oh, you do? Okay, good. Good to know, because I'm waiting for the reunion. The reunion is happening this week, and I'm waiting for that to happen before we. So I'll add it to the list. Let's watch this.
That I never knew existed. I'm seeing on people's bodies, and that's just how you know it's not healthy. And it's just sad because I'm scared that we're going to start to become desensitized to this look that is in no way, shape, or form normal. I was looking through my Instagram reels and I just saw some random actress and she looked like this, and I was just like, okay, that's not skinny shaming in any sense. There's nothing wrong with being skinny, but it's when you know it's being done unhealthily that is so concerning. And let's just take it back to the genesis of this. It has always been the Kardashians. In around 2021 or 2022, when Kylie Jenner dissolved her BBL, when she started her clean girl era, dropped all the cultural appropriation stuff, and her whole family did it. And that's when I knew this was going to be it. Like, this was happening. I see this happening for another 5 to 10 years. And then we'll switch to something else. But this is how it works. It's going to be an era of this. Even though we did it before so recently in the 2000s, I just wonder why it's happening again.
Conservatism. It's not something you need to want, baby girl. It's history. And I will say, and even though I'm remiss to give these girls so much credit, the Kardashians ushered in the curvy mainstream era for this generation, and there's something poetic and fucked up that they're ushering it out. They made y'all like curvier bitches, and then they convinced you to stop simultaneously, right? It's a very interesting thing where the person who used to be the poster child for curviness has that distinction forever for a certain group of an age group, and also has the distinction of telling that same age group to do the opposite. I've never seen anything like it, and that's the power of the internet. We're seeing things that always happen in unprecedented ways. All right, guys, that was today's live. Please, 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 in the comments, I know we usually have a phrase that I tell you guys to write in the comments for the replay, and it makes me smile because it lets me know you got to the end of the video. This topic is a little bit different. Rather than writing the same phrase, what I would like you guys to do me a favor and write in the comments for the replay is please write the moment when you realized it was important to love yourself more. It doesn't have to, it could be a moment or a reminder. What was the moment when you realized I really need to love myself more? For me, that moment was when a friend had betrayed me. And I was sitting with what happened. And I realized, had I simply taken up more space and prioritized myself, it would have been impossible for it to happen. Oh, that's my real estate agent texting me. Yeah, I'm looking at, it's a whole other conversation. I will see you guys. It is now almost 8:30 Pacific time, almost 11:30 East Coast time. I will see you guys in 10 minutes. I think 15 is a little bit too far out. So I'll see you guys 40 minutes past the hour. Okay. I adore y'all so much. And for those who are ending it here, why? Consider being a member. Please, sir. I feel like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, I want a piece of bread. I have never asked for anything online. I'm not the girl who's good at selling stuff. I'm not the girl who's good at like having campaigns and stuff like that. So it feels so odd for me to be in a space where I feel comfortable enough to say, hey, guys, I have a goal. Can y'all help me? Look at this, right? Old dog learn new tricks. I'm not a dog. Let me stop. All right. For the members, I will see you guys at 40 minutes past the hour. For everybody else, until next time, I adore y'all. And please share in the replay comments, what was a moment that made you realize how important it was to love yourself more? I would love to read that, especially considering how vulnerable we've been during this live in particular. And for anybody who was triggered, I hope that we've inspired you to recognize that you're not alone, because you're not, right? We're all just human beings doing human shit. All right. Until next time. Bye, family.